On toxic positivity. Why not be a little negative? They always say misery loves company. Well, whatever the antonym is for misery, those folks enjoy it too. The cheery and happy minded also like to be around one another. And as the stench of toxic positivity reaches into my nostrils, I realize there's something phony about it all. You can't convince me that everyone, at all times, is that superb. I have personal evidence to the contrary. How's it going? Everywhere we hear this hollow inquiry, as if one really wants to know the answer. Good. This reply is plain, and it borders on a non answer. I'm doing great. What looks to be assurance is, in fact, an ambiguity. It could go two ways. Maybe the person really is having a good day, not impossible, or perhaps they're lying via means of their elation, a smile they force themselves to wear. Or finally, not too bad. Well, now we're getting closer to the truth. There's a subtle implication. If only the person was asked yesterday, last week, or last month, then the answer might have been much different. As for me, how do I answer? I'm terrible. This is my typical reply. Sometimes my tone is assertive. More often, it's said with no fussiness. Either way, it rarely fails to shock. Did you say terrible? What? Going off script here. This guy isn't playing the game. What do you mean, terrible? That's not right. We're all doing wonderful, all of the time. Occasionally, I'm told I've just verbalized something original. Somehow, they've never heard someone answer this way. But how can this be so? I used to laugh this off, but nowadays I go a little further with it. I can't believe, I'll add, I'm the only one who's having a bad day. After all, I got the newspaper in my hand. War, murder, theft, depravity, insanity. Oh, but on page 8, there's a story about a cat that has returned home. Gee golly, how great is that? However, when I really am in a good mood, I will say as much, very assertively, and I'll then append it with some word like surprisingly, or give the quickest explanation as to how I came to trip over this good fortune. The tone is sincere. It's not some line that society expects me to repeat because I've just been given the cue. For me, it's a big deal, and comes across with almost as much shock. The truth about pain is all so despairing. Stop whining. Man up. Force that fucking smile. You might have just been diagnosed with a terrible disease, or recently lost a loved one, fired from your job. Maybe you're the victim of spousal abuse, or had a terrible childhood filled with unspeakable horror. Who cares? Life goes on. What are you going to do about it? Things could be worse. This is toxic positivity. These people could be set ablaze, fire melting the flesh off their bones, and still they'll say, at least I'm able to keep people warm. Would they say the same about their kids or their neighbors? Yes, I think they would. Unfailing upbeatness does sound nice, but the thing I've noticed about toxic positivity is that it never comes with a plan B. It never says, what if it doesn't happen? Furthermore, it's dismissive of the greater pain. It says everything will be okay, and if it isn't, oh well. No contingency plan is ever drawn up. It tells you to always accept things as they are. People on their deathbed are dissuaded from writing up a will, because they'll soon be out of here, all healed up and ready to go home. People who take out a loan don't need to check their credit score or review the bankruptcy laws. After all, that's what pessimists do. Why be so negative? We know we'll be able to pay it back or make the payments, and if we can't, well, shit. Think about the guy on the other side of the world whose family was burned alive while paralysis prevented his saving them. See? Someone else has it worse. Therefore, you need to stop complaining. My experience would challenge this perspective. Everything is fine can be just as harmful as everything is horrible. An open expression of honest negativity, I do mean public, not just on social media, can give comfort. The last time I gave my "I'm terrible" reply, the young lady said I took her off guard. She added, "I usually say I'm tired and dead inside." Similar comments, if not so dramatic, are not that rare. People chuckle. They offer an aside as to their own bad day. In doing so, one can see the despair lifting from their faces. And just as I told this girl, "You're not alone," they're not. Nobody is. If it's okay to be okay, it's also okay not to be okay. While many might look upon you coldly, others are tempted to give a vote of confidence. Just hang in there. We all are. I am too.